Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for January 2nd. We are looking at the Euro USD pair first. Drew a trend line off of these tops here that were created earlier in the session. We did get a sizable gap, about 80 pips, did retrace it very quickly. Drew a horizontal line. If I back out a little bit, you can see that we've cut right through some of the tops. If we go to the day time frame, it's even more apparent of what we've done. Just took some areas of support that we've had, drew a line, definitely not the very tops by any means, but just give me a benchmark for where this market could be going. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see that we have a trend line. Let me zoom out. We have a trend line that was that we drew, and then we also have a horizontal line. What I'm looking for is this pair to come up and break through the trend line and then exit off of the horizontal line. Horizontal line right now is at 132.44, and I've just taken the highs here on the 15-minute chart to draw my trend line. So over this next session, as we go into the future, we should see the trend line get steeper. If we get a breakout, depending on when it occurs, we should be able to take that chunk basically from here to here out of the market very quickly. So profit will depend on when the market actually breaks it. If it doesn't, of course, we'll roll into the next session. Here is about kind of midway through the day is about 16 pips as far as the range goes from our trend line up. If it breaks it a little bit later in the day, we have about a 30 pip gain there. Potentially, I'd use a risk to reward wherever it breaks, look to buy, and then exit at the 132.44 mark and use a risk reward of 1-to-1. Now, as far as news announcements go, we do have some significant news announcements we need to talk about just to get an idea of where that is or what those are. We have tomorrow the German unemployment change for December being released at 3:55 a.m. Eastern. Consensus on that is that it's jumped from 5K up to 11K. Then we have the FOMC meeting minutes being released at 2 for the U.S. Of course, the numbers have already been released, so most likely it will not affect the overall market going into tomorrow's session. Now, if you were here yesterday, we talked about the U.S.-Japanese yen pair. If we got a deal and avoided the fiscal cliff, that we should be buyers at the open. Sure enough, it gapped, a very sizable gap, and then closed higher for this session. All right, now let's talk about actually where the market might go from a range perspective. Look for some resistance in the U.S.-Japanese yen pair around the 87.75 mark, possibly hitting some support around 85.75. Now, looking at the Euro-USD pair, this pair we're looking for it to potentially go as high as 133.43, possibly as low as 130.72. Look for some resistance around 132.95. And look for some support around 131.50. Now, the pound-US dollar pair, this pair look for it to go up to 163.81, possibly down to 161.54. Look for some resistance around 163.35, and look for some support around 161.99. Okay, last but not least, the U.S. Swiss. This pair overall moving sideways, gapped down at the open, retrace that fairly quick. Look for it to potentially go as high as 0.9259, possibly as low as 0.9056. Look for some resistance around 0.9201, and look for some support around 0.9081. Well, that wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.